You murdered this man.
Yes.
You tortured him.
Of course.
This is an interview with killer Angela Simpson. She was arrested after torturing and killing a man in a wheelchair for snitching. During this interview, she tells exactly what happened.
I'm here to pretend to be remorseful.
Of course not. Why would I do that?
Are you remorseful?
Not at all.
She's not remorseful at all.
Girl, relax, just breathe, come here, hit the gas, only hit the gas. Now I'm feeling like a star, yeah, you know I'm cold, baby, yeah. Ay, hold on, wait, just let it breathe, we've been blowing with them trees, hit the gas, ay, we hit the gas, we in the stars.
What's good? Dark Knight Gang and this thing. Gang, bitch. Today I'm about to do a video from Most Amazing Top 10. These are the top 10 disturbing interviews with evil people. Y'all requested it, don't trip me not. Got y'all. This video sounds fire. I'm ready to watch this, man. We're gonna see evil people get interviewed. Who knows what they about to say. Be like, so Johnny, why did you murder 30 people? Cause they all need to go to hell. Like, it's about to be crazy, man. Alright, hop on into this. Listen. You guys already know I got my shirt off. I just got done working out like an hour ago. So yeah, I'm chilling. I'm big chilling. This is the last reaction I'm dropping today. More reactions tomorrow. Shout out to the gang. Everybody continue to go after all your goals and dreams. Become the best version of you, man. We only have one life to live. Become the best version of you. You guys have seen me change so much. You guys have seen me lose weight, get in shape, grew my hair out, grew my beard out. You know what I'm saying? Now I be having sex with all the Bro, I be having sex with baddies, cuz. Yeah, if I can completely change my life and become a completely better version of myself, you can too. Let's hop into this video though. I'm ready to see these interviews with evil people. I just like how some people think. Even evil people. I just want to know, like, hey, why did you do what you did? Let's hop into this video.
Today we will be looking at some of the most disturbing interviews ever recorded with people that have done horrific things and show no remorse. From an interview with a child who has tried a number of times to kill her family to an interview with famous serial killers. I'll be discussing these and more only on today's top 10 list. Starting off this countdown, we have Aileen Wuornos. Aileen Wuornos is often considered the first female serial killer. She was found guilty of killing 7 men. She would murder them, rob them, and then drive home in their cars. Although she claims every murder was self-defense. In our interview, we can see how lax she is when talking about killing.
Just shot in self-defense, boom, boom, boom. You know, they weren't cut up, they weren't sliced up, no OJ jazz, you know. And he said, I did the most horrendous crime in the whole wide world.
Death and murder literally...
First and foremost, she looks insane. It is what it is, I'm sorry. Her eyes, everything. She looks insane.
It doesn't faze her at all. In fact, she claims that what she did wasn't even bad. Yeah, she tries to justify her actions by saying she just shot them, as if that's not a big deal.
But you've been convicted of killing 7 men.
Everybody's looking at the number.
Does that not... You killed 7 men, 7 strangers. Does that not make you a serial killer?
So I didn't kill them every day, did I?
Again, she's acting like her killing 7 men isn't a big deal. Like, oh, it's just 7 men. People have done worse. It's crazy.
I mean, that's true, though. People have done worse.
We have the...
People have done worse. I mean, that's true, but... Let's just keep going.
Night Stalker. Richard Ramirez, otherwise known as the Night Stalker, was an American serial killer and robber who killed 13 to 16 plus individuals. At his trials, the judge stated that he never showed any remorse for these doings.
This nigga bone structure is perfect. He look like a model.
I think the creepiest part about his interview is when he admits to being evil.
You admit to being evil, Richard?
We are all evil. In some form or another. Are we not? Yes, I am evil. Not 100%, but I am evil.
And we see him try to justify his killings by saying the government does worse things to people than what he has done.
Serial killers do on a small scale what governments do on a large one. They are a product of the times, and these are bloodthirsty times.
Oh, shit.
Even psychopaths have emotions if you dig deep enough. But then again, maybe they don't.
In our it spot, we have...
Yo, this dude was actually speaking facts, though. This is why some people don't mess with the government, because the government kills people all the time, aka the cops. The government pays for the cops. We have people in prison that get death sentences. You know what I'm saying? So the government is killing people, but that still doesn't... That's not a good excuse for the reason why you killing people. But nah, what he said about everybody having evil inside of them, that's true. We all have darkness within us. But are you going to allow it to take over you? And are you going to allow that darkness and that evil inside of you to do horrendous things in life? You see what I'm saying? You got to have that shit under control.
Edward Edwards.
That was crazy.
Edward Wayne Edwards, otherwise known as the Hook Man or the Man with the Hook, was an American con artist turned serial killer. In fact, when he committed his long list of crimes, he never wore a mask because he wanted to be famous. In 2010, he did an interview and confessed to all his crimes. Again, it makes me so uncomfortable listening to how killers took someone's life.
Taking his hand, he's going through the bottom of the duffel bag, trying to find the cigarettes. And I'm standing right here. And I have the sawed-off shotgun, and I ease it out of the bag while Danny's down there looking. And
He's just too calm talking about all of this. During the interview, he also stated that he wanted the death penalty and thinks that he deserves it.
I want the death penalty.
You don't want us to be in prison for a long time on everything else that's been going on.
Right, I'm not a healthy man.
In our 7th spot, we have...
Okay. That dude's not even crazy. He just like, look, bro, it is what it is. I had the sawed-off shotgun. Homie was in his bag. I said, what's popping? Bah! Whoa,
Paris
okay.
Bennett. During an interview with Piers Morgan, Paris Bennett, who at 13 years of age killed his young sister, admits that he did this as a way to punish his mother.
Specifically in the end, yes, to cause your mother maximum pain. This has achieved your goal, which was to effectively mean your mother lost both her children at once.
In 2007, Bennett convinced their babysitter to leave early and then proceeded to stab his sister 17 times. It's such a tragic case. What makes it worse is how he pretends to say he loved his sister. In the interview, he was asked to describe why he loved his sister, and he couldn't.
Because I loved her. I love her with every fiber of my being.
They say it's like asking a colorblind person to describe the color red. They can't do it. He can't describe love because he can't feel it.
Exactly like she said, it's because Paris is incapable of feeling emotions. No guilt, no love, nothing. Moving on to number 6, we...
So he killed his sister, stabbed his sister 17 times to get back at his mother? I don't even understand the logic behind that. Mom, I hate you so much. You made me wash dishes. I'm gonna kill your daughter. Like, what?
Angela Simpson.
Right.
You murdered this man.
Yes.
You tortured him.
Of course.
This is an interview with killer Angela Simpson. She was arrested after torturing and killing a man in a wheelchair for snitching. During this interview, she tells exactly what happened, how she did it, and why.
Snitches
the scariest
get stitches,
part
huh?
is how forward she is about this all. She doesn't care that she's going to prison or that she killed someone.
Alright, let's see.
You're not here to pretend to be remorseful.
Of course not. Why would I do that?
Are you remorseful?
Not at all.
She's not remorseful at all, and she's very open about everything.
To my house. Walked him down the street. I don't know why the media acts like the motherfucker couldn't walk. He walked very well. Walked him upstairs, kicked his ass.
Like, imagine being okay with taking someone's life. This interview sends shivers down my spine just listening to her and watching the stillness in her body and the calmness in her voice. We're now at our 5th and half.
That one wasn't too crazy. She killed him. She's like, I did it because of this. This nigga was a snitch, so I got rid of his life. It is what it is. What's up?
Mark with Emmanuel Bella. In 2016, a 28-year-old man, Emmanuel Bella, was arrested after killing his girlfriend and their unborn baby. In this interview, you can tell that Emmanuel suffered from schizophrenia. He claims that the father told him to kill his girlfriend and her baby. Keep in mind, he is the father to her baby. And then he says that he is the Antichrist.
Okay.
And that's where I cut her open when he told me to.
Nah, this nigga, he clearly is insane.
Who told you to?
The father, it's just the same one who was to communicate with Jesus Christ is one he was there.
Although it seems like he is intoxicated during this interview, he is not.
No, he was
He's just
talking about God. He
experiencing
said the Father,
hallucinations
like
and
Jesus
delusions.
Christ.
In this interview, he also claims he would receive commands from outer space and extraterrestrials. A lot of people found this interview disturbing just because you can see how far gone Emmanuel is.
Yeah,
he's no longer in control of himself.
Yeah.
In our 4th spot, we
He needs to
have
be in a psych
Arthur
ward.
Shawcross. Arthur John Shawcross was an American serial killer in Rochester, New York that took the lives of 13 individuals.
Damn.
His first 2 murders were committed in 1972. He was caught for both and then sentenced to 25 years. But after serving 15 years, he was released on parole. That's when he continued on with the killings and took the lives of 11 different people. His interview is creepy for a number of reasons.
Do you remember killing her?
Yeah, possibly.
He gives me the chills. He's just twitching and his voice is just so unnerving. But it gets worse once he starts talking about his crimes.
How did you kill her?
Probably strangulation.
How do you know when they're dead?
How?
Why is he?
I don't know, just do.
You can see that he won't admit it directly. He says maybe he killed her and maybe she died by strangulation. It gets worse.
I reach over my shoulder like this, right behind my neck, and I pull out a brand new machete. When she backed out and I come up behind her.
He's just a ruthless killer.
He chopped her
In
head
the third
off?
spot, we have Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was an infamous serial killer who was responsible for murdering 30 women. Although it's thought that this number may be even higher.
Prostitutes,
he would often
right?
kill these women in brutal ways. In his interviews, he shows no remorse for his actions, and the calm
I think he killed prostitutes, if I remember correctly.
tone of his voice is very disturbing.
I can see how certain feelings and ideas developed in me to the point where I began to act out on them. Certain very violent and very destructive feelings.
Throughout this whole interview, Bundy tries to gain sympathy from the interviewer and the audience. You can see how he's trying to manipulate your emotions, which is terrifying. A lot of people commented saying that Bundy is trying to act human in these interviews. He knows exactly what to say and how to say it to manipulate you.
It was like something had, say, snapped, that I knew that I couldn't control it anymore, that these barriers that I had learned as a child, that had been instilled in me, were not enough to hold me back with respect to seeking out and harming somebody.
It's a huge reason why he was so famous and had a huge media following. Moving on at number 2, we have Beth Thomas. Beth Thomas was a young girl featured in a documentary titled The Child of Rage. At such a young age, Beth displayed psychopathic tendencies, including harming her brother on a number of occasions and trying to kill her parents. Her parents were terrified of her and her brother Jonathan's safety, as they should be. Take a look at her interview.
Why is your brother afraid of you?
Because I hurt him so much.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And at nighttime, what do your parents do to your door?
Lock it shut.
Why do they lock it shut?
Because they don't want me to hurt John.
So on a number of occasions...
Man, nigga, I send my daughter to the psych ward so quick. I'm like, this big crazy. Get your ass out of here.
Beth would go into her brother's room at night to try and kill him. On top of that, she used to steal knives from the kitchen to try and harm her family with.
See what I'm saying?
Big sharp ones.
And what do you want to do with those knives?
Kill John and Mommy with them and Daddy.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Here's her recounting the time she hurt Jonathan.
And what happened to your brother? Tell me about it.
His head hurt real bad, but his chin, he had to have stitches in it.
Now apparently doctors deem...
So let me ask you this, bro. Remember, maybe like a few days ago, I asked you guys, when it comes to kids, do you think it's the environment and how they were raised that makes them turn out to be kind of crazy and bad? Or do you think it's just, they were just born that way? Look how young this little girl was. She was trying to kill her parents and her younger brother. What do you got to say about that? Let me know in the comments.
She acted this way as part of her traumatic past. Now it's said that after years of therapy, she is now a healthy adult. And in our number 1 spot, we have Jeffrey Dahmer.
I desensitized myself to it. I don't know, I went to great lengths.
Between 1878 to 1991, American serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer murdered and dismembered 17 men and boys. He would pack the victims' body parts into plastic bags and bury them behind his parents' home. He would also take disturbing photographs of his deceased victims and keep certain body parts as souvenirs. He also had tendencies to eat the victims. This gave him the name the Milwaukee Cannibal or the Milwaukee Monster. Upon searching his home, police found albums full of pictures of body parts, and his place was filled with human remains. Before his death, Jeffrey had an interview with Inside Edition and other news channels. In these interviews, he shares gory details about the men he killed and why he did it.
One time I brought this young man back to the hotel room, the Ambassador Hotel. Was just planning on drugging him and spending the night with him. I had no intention of hurting him.
What's creepy is how calm he is talking about all this. Like, he's murdered so many people and shows no remorse, just like all the other serial killers on this list.
I was handcuffed, and it was just the realization that there was no point in trying to hide my actions anymore.
Hearing him say that he kept the dead with him as long as possible makes me sick. When police raided his house, they found heads were in the fridge and freezer. 2 skulls were on display in the house, and they found a 57-gallon drum filled with decomposing bodies in his room.
That's
all right, guys,
crazy.
that was a
great video from Most Amazing Top 10. Thank you guys so much for requesting it. Yeah, these interviews were kind of crazy. Disturbing, not really, not to me, but I just know there's a lot of crazy people out there. That's why, you know what I'm saying? So these killers, they have no remorse. They know what they're doing. It's not like they're like, oh my God. They're like, nah, nigga, like, I killed 17 men. Like, took him back to the house, drugged him, cut his dick off, cut his head off. It is what it is. See y'all next time. Shout out to the gang. Peace.